Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for your daily dose of dismal Disney.
Yeah, I guess we'll allow this as Disney. I'll allow it.
It's Lucasfilm, Star Wars. And we're probably going to have a double dose of dismal Disney news today. We have another Disney video coming later. But we're going to talk about Lucasfilm, Star Wars, of course, and their mad dash to virtue signal.
Yes.
To the entire internet. They want everybody to know that they don't hate Asians.
Which is good to know. I'm glad they're clarifying that, considering how they were supporting, certain other groups that it's argued that don't really like all Asians.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So they're like during the Lunar New Year, we want to make sure that everybody knows that we love Asian people. And they get called out for their support of the CCP and of the re-education camps and all of that, because it's a slippery slope.
Well, happy Lunar New Year to all of those of you out there that celebrate it. I know there are some of you out there that do, so that listen to us. So yay!
Yay!
Was it the Ox?
I don't know.
I think it is.
You watch Fruits Basket. You should know.
Well, they don't exactly tell you, but Fruits Basket, yay! Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so we're gonna talk about that, the pushback that they got, and then we're gonna talk about this really curious situation with Tom Holland. Speaking of Asia, because we're talking about Lucasfilm, we're talking about Asia, we'll talk about how China shrunk Finn, and then we're gonna talk about how Finn was supposed to be white.
Well, it could have been white.
Could have been.
Tom Holland edition. So apparently him being black wasn't something they had decided. It just worked out that way.
And then they ran with that and said how diverse and inclusive they were in a recent article. Because, hey, we've got John Boyega as Finn, even though we didn't do it right.
That wasn't our plan. We didn't plan it that way.
We didn't plan it that way. They did not plan for Finn to be black. It wasn't like they went into it and said, hey, let's have a black co-lead. It just so happened that they hired John Boyega. So that's kind of curious. For all the wokeness.
Yes.
That is what happened. So before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, we're over 100. We're almost 179. We're like 20 away from that or something.
Are we?
Yeah.
Woo!
So thank you.
180, guys.
180, then 200. Thank you for the support. We do talk about Star Wars, of course. We talk about Disney. Have a lot of experience with Disney. Talk a lot of smack about Disney, and animation, movies, whatever interests us that day. And
I do say nice things about Disney on the blog.
You do.
But I also call out crap.
They're not the same company they used to be.
No, I'll tell you guys. Remind me to tell you guys in one of the videos about their brilliant way that they're giving a special ticketed event, and
we can talk about the next one, because next one talks about Disney and their never-ending search for more money.
Right. It is literally Spaceballs too.
It is.
Okay.
So in this case, Disney looking for more money. They've been pandering really hard to Chinese audiences.
Now they're talking about Asian American Pacific Islanders.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly the same thing.
It's not exactly the same thing.
But it's just, so it's even worse in a way, because you're picking and choosing which Asians you're supporting.
Well, that's what's being brought up. Like we support Asians, except for the ones working our factories and the ones in the re-education camps and So Disney, look, especially Star Wars,
don't like our Star Wars.
Yeah, the ones who don't like Star. Well, they're trying to get Asia to like Star Wars. They even came up with ebooks specifically for Chinese audiences.
They had hired authors. I didn't read it, but you had friends that did.
Yeah,
that they were writing books that were basically like taking lore and changing it to appeal to that audience. And I don't think it did very well. I mean, I know how it did over there, but I know people who were reading it said it was really kind of dumb. Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't read them, so I can't say. I will disclaim that. I can't really tell you. I didn't read it.
So Bounding in the Comics put a nice, write-up of the events. We had a lot of people write us, give us this tip. It was posted on Facebook. And this is what they posted. They posted, the celebration of the Lunar New Year has been marred by the continued wave of violence against Asian American Pacific Islanders across the United States. We've spent the last week learning and listening to our friends, colleagues, and partners who are most affected. We stand with our AAPI family and want to amplify the voices of organizations that fight for civil rights and stand against hate, Asian Americans advancing justice, AAJC, and Stop AA P.I. Hate. Please, I'm going to trip over that. Please join us in supporting the important work they're doing in fighting racism.
Well, I am 100% agreement. We have to stop the racism and stop the hate towards these people. I will never condone, racism or bullying in any form. But you can go on.
But it didn't go the way they expected. Like many things that Lucasfilm does and Disney does these days, it did not go the way they expected, because there's been a lot of controversy about, their relationship with China, with the CCP. Mm-hmm. Of course, I don't know how much detail we can go into, but Mulan was filmed near a re-education camp, and they actually gave the CCP a shout out.
Yes.
Thanks, guys, for letting us.
Racism is terrible. Unless, we want to overlook it because it helps us out with our movie.
Yeah, and this is not coming from some far-right blog or anything. This is coming from Vanity Fair, coming from Variety. They were taken to task for deliberately shrinking Finn on the Chinese poster because, Chinese audiences might not be too interested in seeing a movie with a prominent brown man on the poster.
Yeah, I just think it's funny. And then we find out that Tom Holland auditioned for Finn.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were setting out to make this character not white.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I'd heard before that he had auditioned.
I think it worked out well.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a much better Spider-Man than he would be a Finn.
Oh, yeah.
I think John Boyega was a better Finn, and it's just absolutely terrible that he didn't get to be a better Finn because of things beyond his control. Let's put it that way.
Tom Holland is great at playing annoying sidekicks in whatever movie he's in.
Tom Holland?
Yeah.
I like Tom Holland.
No, I like him too. I'm just saying.
I think he's actually really good at Spider-Man.
I'm waiting for Spider-Man. He's a good young Peter Parker.
You're waiting for him to stop being Spider-Boy and start being Spider-Man.
Yes!
Okay, gotcha.
I want Spider-Man to come into his own and actually be Spider-Man.
He should stop being a Spider-Boy and become a Spider-Man.
He needs to be a Spider-Man. He needs to man up. He needs to Spider-Man up. Anyway, that's my personal opinion.
Now he doesn't have Tony Stark to help him out. Golly gee, Tony,
Golly gee, I don't have your magic robot suit
You have
anymore.
to go from golly gee to holy shit.
So many of the comments called out Star Wars and their parent company Disney for their silence on the Chinese government using slave labor. We know about the re-education camps. We know this is a thing. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't this is mainstream.
This is cited all over the place.
Mainstream media is covering this. They're like, Disney, come on. They said that the estimated figure of how many folks they have in these camps, 80,000 or more. They said it's low. It's likely to be higher than that. They go into detail on Bounding in the Comics, which I'm not going to go into detail as to what goes on in these re-education camps. Let's just say it's not good.
I don't think I want to know.
So here, no, we're not talking about that.
It'll make me upset. I don't want to see it.
It's just people calling Disney out in their hypocrisy. So here are some of the Facebook comments that Bounding in the Comics found. Here we go. Seriously, it's one thing to call these people out when they do it, but when you stand with a country doing exactly what you're condemning, the words become empty. Just goes to show Disney values money over lives, except when it's convenient.
Well, yeah.
If you're going to virtue signal, maybe make sure your parent company isn't making movies in China. Excuse me, but is this appropriate during Black History Month? Incredibly insensitive, Star Wars. This isn't how you pander.
You're not allowed to say anything on Lunar New Year because it's Black History Month?
Yeah, apparently.
Is that a joke?
I don't know.
I hope that's a joke.
I don't know.
If it does, it ranks up there with it's terrible that What's His Nuts won the Super Bowl because he was a white guy and it was Black History Month. And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. Quit pandering to communist China for box office sales while they commit genocide. Can I say that? I don't know if I can say that. Rehire Gina Carano. Cool. Now do China putting people in camps or corporations using child labor in sweatshops. Yeah, they got to keep the prices down on the Mickey Mouse plushies.
That's right.
There's, you got to do what you got to do.
Okay, the prices they charge, knowing how much plushies actually cost,
yes.
We have massive amounts made because we do that. They could have them made in America and charge those prices and still make one heck of a hefty profit.
When they're charging $25-$30 for a plushie, and since they're buying so many of them, they're probably paying 50 cents a piece for them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If Lucasfilm and Disney are fighting racism, does that mean finally denouncing China and firing Kathleen Kennedy? More fabricated division. Give Gina back.
So everybody turned it into the Gina Carano thing.
Yeah. How about fixing your terrible management of the Star Wars universe and quit shoving this crap in our face? How much Coca-Cola was in the room when this was typed? I just keep thinking it's going to be like
Coca-Cola has to deal with Disney, so
they do. It's all Coke. We even joke like when we go down there because you don't like Coke.
I don't like Coke.
You like Pepsi. You like Dr. Pepper.
I like Dr. Pepper. I'm a Dr. Pepper girl. It is right here. You ready? It's going to speak. There it is. Dr. Pepper has spoken.
Doctor has spoken. Yeah, Dr. Pepper's is a little more authoritative than Coke's version, which is Mr. Pibb. Dr. Pepper went to medical school. Mr. Pibb did not.
Dr. Pepper will kick Mr. Pibb's ass.
That's right.
Anyway, go ahead.
Disney, your virtue signaling means literally nothing to me as long as you remain such good buddies with China. How about the violence and getting free labor from actual slaves and then thanking their masters? Does that fight racism, Disney? Star Wars still silent so far in Chinese camps. Still doing business with China. Actions speak louder than words. Did Disney wave to the political and religious prisoners in China while filming their movies?
Well,
wow,
it's funny because it goes on and on. But this is also interesting because I know when they didn't wish James Earl Jones a happy birthday, and they turned around the next day on Martin Luther King Jr. Day and then made the comments about being against racism. People called them out for these same things. They called them out for, stepping over Carl Weathers, stepping over James Earl Jones, that kind of stuff as well. So you can see there's a pattern of behavior here. And it's interesting because the public's not letting them get away with it anymore.
No, I think the facade has been dropped, and there's been a lot of concern about Disney's relationship with China. I mean, Walt would be rolling in his grave.
Well, apparently with the new, government or the new people in charge, Biden and his people, there might be a chance for Bob Iger to be the representative to China.
Yes,
after he built the Chinese, Shanghai Disney Park.
Yeah, Disney has been buddying up to China for years. And the reason they're doing it is because they need more butts and seats to make their movies bigger. And it's curious that this happens about the same time that they're expanding their Asian subscriber lead with Disney
Star.
and Star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they know that China is the most populous country in the world. And if you want to make more money, you got to get more rocks to get more blood out of. And that's what they're doing. And they don't really care who they do business with as long as they're making money.
They don't care whose rocks they're squeezing.
They don't care whose rocks they're squeezing. No. Sometimes you have to be a little more careful, especially in this day and age.
Right. And if you don't have any more rocks to squeeze, you go find new rocks to squeeze.
That's right. So they're squeezing those rocks.
Squeeze them till they cry.
Yeah. I guess that's one way of putting it. So that's the deal. So this is the problem, right? Huge problem. We've been telling people this for years, and they don't want to hear it because people still think Disney is the same company they were 10 or 20 years ago, before Bob Iger came in. Disney is an international conglomerate. They are political when it benefits them.
Yes.
It's all about the appearance of being good, but in reality, all they give a shit about is making money.
Here's something interesting also. So, everybody's like, oh, go them because they're changing the Jungle Cruise and they're changing Splash Mountain. Yeah, but they also announced that it's likely they're going to be doing something with the Sea Initiative, which is the Society. How does it go? A Society
Explorers
and
Adventurers.
Yeah. And part of that was the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
So and if they're going to tie this stuff into the movies, the shows, to this other stuff, they would have to go in and probably make some changes anyway. So it's not like they're doing it for the goodness of, because we want to stop bullying and all this other stuff. No, it just happens that it just falls in the way of another show and stuff that they're doing in a movie that they already admitted would have Easter eggs in it anyway.
And as far as Splash Mountain goes, princess merch.
That's exactly what it is.
Tiana merch.
Princess, yeah.
I mean, they're going to say, we're doing it to be more progressive. This is, it's a sensitive time. We need to be sensitive. We're listening, guys. No, they know that Tiana merch is going to probably outsell Brer Fox merch because kids actually know who Tiana is. And and they'll put a little stupid,
Our daughter likes both Tiana and Brer Fox.
Yeah. That's
So she likes them both. Go ahead.
but no, I'm just thinking I can see all the princess stuff they'll do. They'll do princess experiences with Tiana. I've heard a rumor they were going to dock the riverboat and turn it into Tiana's restaurant. I hope they do not do that.
They wouldn't put a whole bunch of work into it. I don't think they're going to. Because they had it drained and fixed the track and stuff. I just don't, unless they're putting a docking place in there. I don't know.
Tom Sawyer Island.
That'd be kind of.
That'd be a very small.
They just put a lot of work into that too,
Yeah,
so I don't think they're going to do that.
But they're always looking at all this virtue signaling. At the end of the day, I do think that again, bringing up Coca-Cola, I think it comes at the request of or advice of third parties coming in and saying, look, you need to be more diverse and inclusive because that's the buzzword this year. So here's how you do it. Change this ride and 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 hire these people, fire these people. There we go.
When Disney's more concerned about not hurting the feelings of their animatronic monkeys on a Jungle Cruise attraction over people in concentration camps, that's just a little bit worrying.
Yeah. Now, here's what would have happened if Walt Disney were still in charge.
He's not. He's dead.
If Walt Disney were still alive and in charge.
And he'd be really old, and he'd probably still be dead.
If Walt Disney were still alive, somehow became fused with an animatronic and were still in charge.
Okay.
And still functional.
Okay.
And not broken like the Carousel of Progress.
But then he'd be easy to control. But anyway, continue.
He would tell China to suck a peach.
He probably would tell China to suck a peach.
He doesn't care. He wouldn't care. Now, I don't know if he had any problem necessarily getting his stuff made over there. But that was a different time when he was in charge. And a lot of that stuff probably was made here.
But back then, that stuff used to be made here, or that used to be made in other countries. It wasn't always China.
Malaysia was a big one.
Vietnam was one.
Vietnam was a big one. Yeah. So I don't know. But this is Disney, guys. This is what they are. They are pandering hard to China because there are a lot of people in China and they don't care who gets hurt. It's all about the money. And I get so tired of it. Like, Disney's such a wholesome American company and such a family-friendly company. Oh my God, Disney just loves us. They love us so much. No, that's what the marketing is telling you.
They love your money.
They love your money.
They love your rocks a lot.
They used to be a different company. It wasn't that long ago. And that's what's so frustrating about watching all of this go down, just how quickly Disney has basically just become, a Chinese company. Effectively, I mean, it really is. They're making sure they don't offend China. They're not going to do anything to jeopardize their business relationships with China because they'll lose their cheap theme park merch.
From my understanding, they have the CCP people that are over in positions of power at Shanghai.
Yes, I've heard that. Literally on the desk, there it is. It's right there. Like they're installed over there. And then Bob Iger's supposedly being eyed to be the Chinese ambassador. Mm-hmm. So it's like, guys, Disney's a Chinese company. It is what it is. They're right there with Tencent at this point. And
I don't think that much.
Well, they're getting there.
I think you're being a little bit exaggerating there. But I think
they want to be
an American company, but they really, really want the Chinese money. How about that?
Yeah, and they don't care who gets hurt in the process. They don't seem to really care too much about the PR black eyes. Like, well, it was really unfortunate that people found out that we filmed near that camp. We'll
can't hide anything anymore.
We'll just make sure we put this statement up.
And the whole point of this, back to the point, which was the Star Wars account from Lucasfilm put this out. I love how they're against discrimination and hate, and unless they're the ones discriminating against people. Yeah. They give more respect to people in other countries than they do in our own country if you have a different political opinion. And then this is after they got called out for their racism against Black people, against the character Finn in Star Wars and all that. And again, which was interesting to us, was that apparently it was never set up to be that it was for a POC actor.
No.
Because Tom Holland auditioned. And he's a very, very white dude.
Yeah, I mean, look, I believe in blind casting. You pick the right person for the part.
I agree with that too.
But don't go out there and say that you specifically wanted to have a black lead in Star Wars.
And Star Wars is about diversity.
Yeah.
When that was not the case.
That's not what happened. You just happened to cast John Boyega, and then you could retroactively say, we did this because look how woke we are, but then you also pushed his character to the side.
Right.
So, it's worse. It's all the way around. It's just worse. And Tom Holland.
Maybe they should just stop talking.
Tom Holland's going to get gagged. They're going to put a ball gag in his mouth.
What's that have to they can't stop him from talking about that.
No,
That was
but
years ago.
he always spoils the title of the movies. He always spoils,
They
plot
made a
points.
joke about that because, you got, in case you haven't heard, Spider-Man 3, the title is going to be No Way Home. And yesterday they had a joke where they had the different actors giving it different titles. And then when they had the announcement of No Way Home, they had Tom Holland there, and they said, well, he won't tell me anything. And they're like, that's because you leak everything. No, when have I spoiled anything? And they're like, the last movie. So they made a joke on the fact that he leaks stuff. So I thought that was kind of funny.
He does tend to leak stuff. Yeah, so we're going to wrap this one up,
Yep.
I think. All right, guys. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. You can check out this original article on Bounding in the Comics. They have a nice summary of the backlash. And yeah, you can't talk out both sides of your mouth.
No.
Disney. Stop it. Stop it. Talk to you later.
Bye.